Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today my name is Osereme, and if you're here for the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. In today's video we are going to be drafting a corset pattern with sleeve. Some of you have been asking how you can add sleeve without your armpits showing, so I decided to create this pattern. This is my first time actually even seeing something like this. I just created it taking note of the armhole, just making sure that the corset pattern has an armhole on the side, just so we can attach our sleeve and we'll have it to be like somewhere around here instead of being under our arm. So if you're interested in seeing how I drafted this out, you definitely want to keep on watching this video. Click on the subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and let's go straight into it. So guys, to start off this tutorial, I already drafted out a basic bodice pattern. I do this all the time on the channel, so today I decided not to redo it. I just went ahead to do it. And this first line you saw here was chest line, then we have the bust line, the under bust line, we have the waistline, and then we have the hip line. Because this is going to be a blouse, it's not going to be a crop top, so the owner of this top wanted it to be a blouse. So to make any corset pattern, you need to draw a circle around, and for that circle you take a measurement from your bust point down to your under bust point, which is what I'm taking a measurement right now, and as you can see it's 3 inches. So that 3 inches, I'm going to take it all the way around to give me a circle. So if yours is 3.5 inches, when you may take the measurement from your bust point down to your under bust, then use that 3.5 inches to make a circle around. So as you can see, mine is 3 inches. I just used that 3 inches to mark a circle around. If you've marked yours correctly, this is what you are going to have. So now I'm going to start using my marker. So on this dart area here, I'm going to take 1/2 inch away from the ends of the darts, as you see me doing like this, and then we're going to connect it to meet the hip line. Remember, I told you guys that I'm having a hip line here today because this is not a crop top. So I'm just marking this line to meet the hip line there, as you can see. So this is what we have. Now we're going to connect this point on the under bust to the 1 inch point we have below the bust line, or you can also call it the tip of your dart. So we're just going to connect this dots with a curve, as you see me doing like this, to the tip of your dart. So you kind of have like an arrow shaped, which is very beautiful. Now when you're through with that, you're going to come over to the shoulder, and whatever measurement you have from the neck to the end of your shoulder, you're going to divide it into 2 equal halves, and you're going to make a point there, as you see me doing like this, and you're going to connect that point to the point at the bust line, just exactly the way I did it now. So when you are through with that, you take the measurement you have from your dart area on the under bust line, and you're going to replace it at the top here. So mine was 1.5 inch. I'll be giving 1/2 inch to the part going towards the center, and then 1 inch to the part going towards the side. So right here I'll mark 1 inch, and then from here I'll mark 1/2 inch. So after that, you're going to connect these 2 points to meet your bust point. So after connecting them to meet the bust line, I'm just going to extend this with a curve to give me that bust shape. So when we are through with this, we're going to come down to the middle of our top. You know that separation we normally have between our 2 corsets? That's what we're trying to get now. So I went down by 1/2 inch on the chest line, and then went in by 1/2 inch as well. And then I'm just going to make that mark here, as you see. So when we're through with that, before we do any other thing, we're going to come back to this top, and I'm going to take 1/4 inch away from the both lines that I have here. As you can see, this is to ensure that our cup actually sits perfectly and is not too big at the top. It just gives it that perfect shape. So I'm just going to extend these new lines, as you see me like this, so that our cup does not have any form of gaping. So this is the new lines we'll be making use of now, so I'll just cancel out these old ones. It's very easy. So now I will connect this point here to this point with my curve. So when you're through with that, you connect this point to this point. Now we have one part of our cup ready. Now for the other part, which is the major part of this today, we are trying to get an armhole for our sleeve. What I'm going to do is this part here, I'm going to divide what I have here by 2, as you can see, and then I'm going to make a curve from this top to meet this point here on the armhole. Just look at what I'm doing. So connect this here, and then I'm just going to mark out this other part of the armhole, so we have a space here for our sleeve to sit. So now what I'm going to do is to connect that point we made just now, as you see me doing like this, to the end on the underbust. So we have our second side of the cup. Now we're going to put all our allowances back. So on the chest line, I marked my bust measurement divided by 4. After that, I'm just marking the dart intake, which is 2 inches. I replaced it back on the chest line, and then I'm adding 1.5 inch for stitching allowance. So after this, I will come down to the waistline. On my waistline, I will divide my waist measurement by 4, and I will replace the dart intake as well, which is 1.5 inch. I'll mark it here, and then I will add the general 1.5 inch stitching allowance. Then on this hip line, I divided her hip measurement by 4 as well. Divided her hip measurement by 4, as you can see. Replaced the dart intake, which is 1.5, and then I will add my 1.5 inch for stitching allowance. So now I'm going to use my ruler to just connect the last dots only. So I'm just going to connect these dots as you see me doing like this. So guys, this is what I have. I'll just curve this place out a little bit because, you know, our waist is not this pointed. So now that is it for this. We're basically done with this front part. So this was the major difference here, this armhole area, just somewhere for us to place our sleeve. So now I'm just going to join all my points together, extend all the lines. That's the end of the top, and then I will just extend this armhole area as well to meet this side, as you see me doing like this. So this is where we're going to attach our sleeve. That's basically all for this front pattern, guys. It's really this simple. The major difference with this and every other one I've been doing is the fact that this is not a crop top and that this has in place for us to attach our sleeve. So I'm just going to go ahead, as you see me doing like this, just cut out all the different pieces, and that will basically be all for this front pattern. So this is what I have for all the front pattern. You can see the armhole area here, very beautiful. Now I'm going to use these pieces to cut out my back piece. So like you guys already know, most times when I cut out the front, I just use it to cut out my back pattern. So to do this, my back area is going to have a zipper. First thing I went ahead to do was just to make a 1.5 inch point all the way around, so that I'll get a straight line across for my zipper. So I'll just label this zip. This is my zipper allowance right here. So now I'll place the center front of our front part of the corset, as you see me doing like this, and I'll just pin it down, taking note of that zipper allowance in front. And then you remember that our dart intake in front was 1.5 inch. I'm going to just arrange the second part, ensuring that I have that 1.5 inch difference in between the two patterns, and I will just pin it down as well. So now when you're through pinning everything down, what I'm going to do is to just mark the side. So I'm going to just replace what I have up here, retrace it out, retrace the armhole, as you see me doing like this, retrace the sides as well, because everything is going to be the same, and then the only difference is going to be in the neck area. So for the back, I wanted to reduce the neck by 1 inch, which I already did right now. So I'm just going to make a curve from that point I made to meet the armhole. So we come out a little bit, and then we just connect it with a round kind of neck to meet the armhole. And guys, that's basically almost it for the back. So I just marked my dart as well. So I'll remove the front pattern now, and voila, this is our back pattern. So I'll just mark the middle of this dart area, make a straight line across, as you see me doing like this, and then I'll just connect my darts with a slant. So this is basically all for the back pattern. I'm just going to cut it out now. Make sure that you don't mistakenly cut away the zipper allowance, because you need that. So I also went ahead to slash one side of my dart, just the way you saw me doing it like this, just to take away that dart intake, so that I don't have to bother myself with stitching down my dart when I'm sewing the back. So I just tape it down, as you see me doing like this. So when I'm cutting this out, I just cut it out as a one piece, instead of having to cut it out in two different places and then start joining it again. This is just a simple way I do it. So because this is going to have a zipper at the back, I'm trying to avoid that bulge or that folding that we normally have at the back of our tops and gowns when we attach a zipper. So I made a line across on that curve we had, which is the waistline, and then I went in by 1 inch, and as you see me doing like this, I'm just making a curve towards the neck area and then towards the end of the top. So I'm just going to cut this new stuff away, so that when I'm stitching my zipper, when we stitch the zipper, it stays perfectly on our back without having any form of curve. So that's basically all for the back, guys, and this right here is the front. This is how simple it is to actually draft this pattern, and I already went ahead to use it to cut out all my pieces, as you can see right now. So thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. As you can see, I added ½ an inch all the way around on my actual fabric. In my next video, we're going to be sewing these together, so you definitely want to stick around, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell.